After new president Silvio Berlusconi took over, Milan enjoyed a prosperous period. In 1989, the Serie A champions would cruise past Vitosha Sofia 7-2 in the first round of the European Cup qualifiers. Against Red Star Belgrade, Milan won 4-2 on penalties after both games ended 1-1. While just one goal scored in the two legs with Werder Bremen saw the Rossoneri progress to the semis and a clash with Real Madrid. The once mighty Spanish side were well and truly put in their place as Milan soundly beat them 6-1. In the final, they would meet Romanian champions Steaua Bucharest. Their campaign began with a 7-3 victory over Sparta Prague. In round two, the Romanian goals came thick and fast again as they beat Spartak Moscow. 5 goals again saw them dispatch Gothenburg back to Sweden. Astonishingly, there were 5 more in the semis, where Galatasaray only managed to claw one back. Even before the final, the 1989 European Cup campaign was destined to go down in Milan history. The semi-final clash against the once dominant Real Madrid turned into a great showcase of the wealth of talent available to coach Sacchi. In the first leg at the Bernabeu, it was the home side who scored first. The corner eventually found the boot of Mexican international Hugo Sanchez just before half-time. But the lead would be short-lived. 30 minutes into the second half, this extremely powerful header from Marco van Basten ricocheted off the woodwork and behind the line. Milan had scored a crucial away goal, a very comfortable position to be in as they prepared to entertain Real Madrid in the return leg at the San Siro. As the second leg unfolded, it was clear that the away goal wouldn't need to count. No less than 5 Milan superstars would get on the score sheet. First was Carlo Ancelotti with this magnificent effort. It was one of the greatest goals of his career. Just over 5 minutes later, Frank Rijkaard got on the end of this cross to put Milan 2 up. On the stroke of half-time, a glancing header from Ruud Gullit saw Milan go 3 up. Just 4 minutes into the second half, Milan's trio of Dutch internationals combined to score a 4th goal. Marco van Basten repeated his feat from the first leg, hitting the net once again. The historic victory was sealed on the hour by Roberto Donadoni. Milan had treated their fans to a soccer spectacle. A 5-0 win over Real Madrid at home showed they were in stunning form for the final.
That year was like a cavalry charge, a triumphant year, because we faced Real Madrid and we beat them easily, playing the kind of great football which dumbfounded so many people. Yes, because it was achieved against an adversary like Real Madrid. And so there's no doubt that it will remain in the hearts and minds of the fans. It was a new kind of football for Italy and for an Italian team. We beat Real Madrid, we reached the final as favourites, and there were no surprises. That Milan, with all those fans in Barcelona, there was no way that we could lose.
There are 85,000, but there could have been more if Camp Nou had a bigger capacity. Thousands upon thousands of red and black flags turned Barcelona into an enormous red and black stadium. But careful, there have been other botched invasions and premature foolishness. Athens should be a warning to be prudent. Tradition is on the side of Milan, who are a mysterious and gripping force, but also have a higher number of champions than the Romanians. Stoia's strikers were about to meet one of the most formidable defences in football history. Baresi, Tassotti, Maldini and Costa Curta were all lined up in defence, while ahead of them were the Dutch trio of Marco van Basten, Ruud Gullit and Frank Rijkaard. 22 goals in the qualifying campaign proved coach Angel Iordanescu's side had plenty of strike power. The biggest threat to Milan would come from one of the greatest midfielders Eastern Europe had ever produced, Giorgi Hagi.
Usually, it's the first one you remember most. And in this case, it was also the most emotional, which was the one in Barcelona in 1989. And also because something happened there which would now be impossible. To have a stadium that was completely red and black, full of Milan fans, because Star Bucharest fans couldn't follow the team because there was still a dictatorship in Romania. It was a really amazing emotion.
Ed è stata veramente un'emozione super.
Nearly 100,000 people packed into the famous Nou Camp in Barcelona on a warm May night in 1989. Although the team sheet had shown all Milan's key players were present and correct, there was a niggling injury worry for one of them.
I remember that we were a little bit concerned about Ruud Gullit because he was injured on his knee. He struggled really very hard to come back, and especially to play this game. It went all the good way for him because he played a wonderful game. He scored 2 wonderful goals.
Although Stoia Bucharest had already lifted the cup, they were facing an Italian side which would go down in football history for their wealth of talent. What ensued was one of the most one-sided European Cup finals ever. It was Ruud Gullit who found the net first on just 18 minutes. A simple finish from close range. His injury worries were completely forgotten. Milan's second came 10 minutes later, this time a powerful header from fellow Dutch international Marco van Basten. Stoia were on the ropes and struggling to find an answer to the power and pressing play of Arrigo Sacchi's team. Gullit scored his second and Milan's third with an unstoppable drive from the edge of the box, and the final had turned into a rout. (3-0 at half-time, and for the Romanians the fear of more goals to come. The Dutch players combined again when Rijkaard's surging run was followed by a delicate through ball to Van Basten, who coolly slotted home past the helpless Lung in the Stoia Bucharest goal. Here was a striker in the form of his life. Milan held the European Cup for the first time in 20 years.
For me, it was one of the greatest experiences I had as a football player. Not only that we win the cup, because that was a great achievement, but for the fact that the whole team was in a good shape. So everybody who participated on that game played his best game. And I will never forget all the public from Milan who came here to support us, and it was really, from the beginning to the end, a big fest for us.
I think we managed to change the mentality of Italian football a little, to go and play away from home the way we played at home, to play a certain way and to try to impose that game on the opposition, to attack your opponents with no fear, without thinking too much about other people, just playing the kind of football that we played in training. And I suppose that was our secret.
Milan gives its great captain a cup to be raised up to the skies of Europe. If there's something missing from this great triumph, it's a bit of tension, a touch of fear. The Red and Blacks turned the big final into their very own display of noble, sumptuous football. And Gullit, Baresi and Van Basten are a new generation of champions who've already earned their place in the history books.